just be a worshiper.
Yeah.
So
yeah, as musicians and people that we surround, I mean, even inside, I mean, if you're a musician, if you're a singer, if you work, if you do anything, if you serve anywhere in the church as something having to do with music, chances are that outside of church, you're always listening to music. You're always paying attention to noise, And I want to touch on something that you said on how it's so important to seek God in our isolation and to
100%.
give him that place of speaking to us.
Right.
And I think as musicians, sometimes it's so hard for us to turn off the sound.
You got to, yeah, absolutely. That's so good.
Because we're literally living in sound all around us. We have choir practice. You got choir practice tonight.
Right.
There's choir practice. There's rehearsals. There's
life.
Listen to this song.
Yeah.
We got to learn this song. And you're.
Yeah.
I mean, also your recreational listening to music.
Right.
So there's always music in our minds, in our heads.
100%.
That I do think that sometimes when we devote time with God, we do need to be conscious about turning it off.
100%.
To listen to what God.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we get put in situations where we are, and when you're again isolated.
Yeah.
But you have to have your own spiritual disciplines to where don't wait for God to isolate you. You need to intentionally have a relationship with God,
right,
where you can get alone, shut everything off, and just focus on God. One of the things that I like to do, when my day to day when I come down to the church and go to the office, no one's there in my wing of our campus. So it's easy for me to just be able to just be alone, go sit in my chair, not even go behind my desk, just sit in my chair and just silence and just talk to God. And sometimes talking to God doesn't sound like what we're doing right here. Sometimes it's just closed eyes and a moment where you're just thinking about him and just connecting with him. And you may not verbalize it, but there's something happening. And then all of a sudden, the Spirit of God starts to move in that place where you're at. And you're having a moment. These moments are created when you shut things off, when you dim the lights, and I'm talking about physically and figuratively. You have to dim the lights in your mind of things that's going on in your life. Sometimes you gotta cut off what's going on at home. You gotta, because right now I'm in a unique time of my life. We've got my son's getting ready to turn 4. My daughter's 5. They're going to school. This is the first time for us, with our kids going to actual school. And so you're thinking about that. You're thinking about, mom at home homeschooling, Karina's at home homeschooling. You're thinking about what we're going to do next week, how we're going to do this, the lights got to dim. You got to dim that down. And you just got to, because all of that's going to come back. You got to think about that all day anyway, right? But you got to take a moment to where that dims down. The morning time is the best time for it because it gives you what you need to get through the day. You have devotion. And sometimes even after devotion, you just need to have time to where you just let God speak to you, and you just stay in that moment. And what that does is that creates a shell, if you will, that when the voices do come, when the stuff starts coming in from the world, and you got that armor, if you will. God is protecting you. You've got those moments with God, to where it helps you. It strengthens you. It covers you, if you will. And so I do encourage people to intentionally isolate yourself. Get those moments. And I know that goes without saying. We need to have spiritual disciplines where we have that time with God. But sometimes you do got to remind people. And unfortunately, it is what it is because life is so busy.
Right.
Life is so loud. Things are so fast paced. And it's like, oh man, I forgot to pray today. You know what I'm saying? I forgot to do this today. No, that needs to become a part of your life. Right. That's just what we do. That's what I do in the morning. That's just the way that it's supposed to be. So, anyways, hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that really makes a lot of sense because I know, me growing up, like I was saying earlier to you before we started, was I grew up playing drums. I grew up just being involved in music, all my life. So there was a time when I saw leading worship in the drums and playing for the church just as something that I come in, I clock in, and then something, service is done, clock out, I'll clock in back on Wednesday night. You know what I'm saying? So no, it is really important to have that.
Well, because it seems insignificant of what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, as a drummer, you're behind, you're in the background.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you notice, like physically on the platform, the drums are either
this is all you see.
right.
Yeah.
They're you're in a cage,
Yeah.
and you're either on the right of the platform or the left of the platform,
Right.
or you're in the middle, but you're behind the praise team and the guitarist, and so it's easy to hide yourself spiritually as well, to be like, I don't really need to do very much because no one's even. I'm just, all I got to do is just play.
As long as you land on the one, nobody sees you.
And so a lot of times, well, yeah, absolutely, you know, and here's the deal with it, you know, if you see yourself, or if you see yourself the way that God sees you, and you understand that what we do is worship as unto God, whether you're playing the drums, whether you're singing, whether you're in front or whether you're behind, it don't matter what you're doing. It's unto the Lord, and that even goes as for the person, the people that are serving as ushers or greeters in a service. You know, this is unto God. This is our worship. This is a part of what we do to please God, to show Him that, hey, this is a part of our worship. This is what I do. This is what I am. You know, I'm a worshiper, and sometimes it doesn't look glamorous. You know what I mean? But you offer that back up to the Lord.
Yeah.